and join us here. There's lots of space here on the grass. Welcome to the celebration of the life of Jack Layton, a celebration of love, of hope, and of optimism. Love, hope, and optimism that lives on in all of us. I just want to give you a few little housekeeping issues. Please, we're all taking care of these grounds ourselves, so whatever you have brought with you, please take it back with you. I would like to welcome Dave Denine, the Minister of Volunteer and the Nonprofit Secretariat, and Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs. Dave has come here today to represent the Premier, Kathy Dunderdale. And we all know that our sadness extends across political boundaries. I would also like to thank Mayor O'Keefe and the City of St. John's, our city, our home, and all the workers of the city who have made it possible for us to use this space to gather today. I would like to thank QP for helping us out with the sound system, and the amazing Wallace Hammond, who is always so generous every time we gather, who is doing the sound here. And I'd like to thank the entertainers, all who have come here because they feel a loss and also a passion for social justice. The amazing Bill Brennan, Danielle Han, Terry Riley, Kelly Walsh and Shalloway, and Sean Panting. And I'd like to also to thank the Canadian Federation of Students and the very lovely Sheila Keats, who is doing ASL interpretation for us today. So if there are people in the crowd, there is interpretation. If you can't see from where you are, please come closer. There's also books of condolences up at the top of the hill here for anybody who would like to sign. Those will be brought to Olivia Chow and her family by the Harris family for the funeral. Also, there is chalk on the side here. If anybody wants to pick up chalk and write messages of love, hope, and compassion, please feel free to do so. Victor Hugo wrote that the supreme happiness in life is a conviction that we are loved. Jack Layton was loved by so many.
You hold on?
And he was a man who loved.
Okay.
He loved his lovely partner, Olivia, his family, his party, and his country, Canada. Thank you, Jack.
But you keep on giving. everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Lorraine Michael, leader of the New Democratic Party of Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you. I want to thank you on behalf of the provincial party and on behalf of the federal party, on behalf of Jack's family, his friends, on behalf of everybody who loved him, for showing today how much we love him here in St. John's as well. Thank you so much for being here. We were used to having Jack being at events with us, so that when we gathered, Jack would appear. And this evening, we have his picture, we have his words, and we have his spirit. Last night, we had a meeting of our party. Well, it was a district meeting, but Jack Harris was there, and Jack invited Jack Layton's spirit into the meeting with us. And I think we have to know that if anybody loved being in St. John's on a sunny day, it was Jack Layton, and he would love to be here in person with us this evening. But I know that he is here because we're here. Because we're here as people who understood what Jack stood for. We're here as people who also say with Jack, we want a society, we want a community where everybody has a place and where everybody is taken care of. On Saturday when I go, thank you. Saturday, when I go to Toronto for the funeral, I'll be down on the lakeshore. I'll actually be staying in a place on the lakeshore. And on the lakeshore in Toronto, there's a wind turbine. And that wind turbine for me is always going to be Jack, because Jack Layton fought to have that wind turbine in his fight in City Hall in Toronto to get people to believe in alternate means of energy. And while he didn't get to turn the turbine into hundreds and thousands, that turbine still sits on the lakeshore. It still turns and it still generates energy that's going into the grid. So I'm going to look at that turbine from here on in, and I'm going to think Jack. I'm going to think of Jack's spirit keeping that turbine going. And it's a real symbol of who Jack was. He just wasn't words. He fought for what he believed in, and he got so much of what he believed in. Unfortunately, he didn't get the biggest thing he believed in, and which I believed in for him, because I believed he could be the Prime Minister of Canada. But what was important to Jack was the message of justice, the message of equality, the message of healthy communities, of a healthy environment, of peace. He believed in all of that. And the letter he left us, which we'll be reading out here this afternoon, will speak to us of what he believed. And I won't repeat his words because I don't need to. We are going to read them. When I used to meet with Jack, and I've known Jack for 20 years actually, and what always struck me whenever I met with him, especially since I became leader, it wasn't words that we talked about, it wasn't policy, it was how to get things done. Strategizing, the best way to do things, how to get our message out. So it was always action, and even though he was filled with knowledge and filled with ideas around policy, once he was out there, what he wanted was action. So what we take away this evening, everybody, is the memory of Jack, his spirit, and that legacy of getting it done, that legacy of believing you can get it done. And the way in which we'll show that to Jack is for all of us to continue being what we are now, because I know all of us are people who are out there in our communities, working to make the community better, working with others in the community, not sitting down talking about it, but getting out and doing it. That's what Jack would want, and that's what I ask all of us to do. Thank you, everybody.
and I will be speaking on behalf of my father, Jack Harris, who could not be here today. I am in Ottawa today because of the commencement of the state funeral for our friend and party leader, Jack Layton. And I've asked my daughter, Sarah, to read you this message on my behalf. It was truly sad to be in Ottawa today because it was Jack Layton's last visit to Parliament, a powerful symbol of our country and our democracy about which he cared so much, and a place where he gave voice to his vision and our vision for a better life for Canadians. It was also a very special place to be with Olivia and Jack's children and other members of the caucus, as we remember Jack, who is so recently among us. It is fitting that we are here in the Parliament buildings, where we have a strong team of MPs who are brought together in strong numbers by Jack's leadership. The largest parliamentary caucus our party has ever seen, and the largest official opposition in over 30 years. We each have our special memories of Jack Layton, how he reached out to us and touched us with his humanity, how he inspired us by his commitment and dedication, how he showed his compassion for people and his passion for showing and convincing others that there is a better way to do things. We remember how he loved people and how people loved him back. He loved being at the regatta, and so many loved seeing him there. So next time you walk around Kitty Bitty Lake, remember Jack Layton. He was my friend and my family's friend, but he was also every family's friend. We will retain our special memories with Jack, and they are wonderful to keep. But we know, and Jack knew, that to remember is to look back. And Jack would want us to look forward. We are lucky that we have an inspired message from Jack, written as last and personal and political courage sent us forth. In his letter, he offers us the watchwords of love and hope and optimism, his belief in young people and the future they can help to create, and his conviction that we can succeed. By his own life and his political career, he has shown us that it can be done, and it is now up to us to make it happen. It's the best way to remember Jack. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Matt White. I'm the outreach coordinator for Ryan Cleary, MP for St. John's South Mount Pearl, and like Jack, he was unable to be here today because he's in Ottawa attending Jack Layton's state funeral. So he sent a few words for me to read here this afternoon. For me, what stands out about Jack Layton, what stands out above all else, is the Saturday afternoon in April when Jack came to St. John's for an election rally. Jack had suffered through cancer, he was suffering through a broken hip, and he was walking with a cane. It was my job to introduce Jack on stage, and when I did, Jack practically skipped up the stairs and leapt on the stage. For me, that showed a strength and a depth of character, keeping in mind that he was probably sicker than he let on, that you don't see in many people, and you don't see in many leaders. It's one thing to run in a federal election campaign, to lead a party in a federal election campaign, but it's quite another to do so when you're fighting for your life. Jack Layton was an inspiration. Those are my thoughts today when, along with my fellow New Democrat MPs, I filed past Jack Layton's coffin. I signed a condolence book and wrote a short comment, an honor. Outside Parliament, near the Centennial flame, there's a makeshift wall of tribute to Jack, where members of the general public dropped off handwritten notes, dozens of cans of Orange Crush, and candles. One note struck me more than any other. It was a simple message on a small sheet of white paper held down with a candle. The note read, "You made my friend Arthur vote." There can be no greater political tribute. That's Ryan's note. However, I'd like to add a personal note of my own. Jack truly was an inspiration, and I haven't been able to get the final quote of his letter to Canadians out of my mind. They're words that we all should live by. Let us be loving, hopeful, and optimistic, and we will change the world. Jack has inspired me to be a better person, to do everything I can do to change the world, and more importantly, he's shown by example that changing the world is possible. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Terry Riley. I'm delighted to be here.
Good thing black ants don't bite. It's a good thing the black ants don't bite. So I'll be digging them out of my drawers for an hour.
Scratching something, I feel like it's not bitten.
The morning that I got the news, Monday morning, I immediately sat down and my heart had to say this. This is for you, Jack. There are those that touch our lives one-on-one. There are those who do so simply by their lives and what they have done. Those we know that listen to their hearts, whose passion and compassion are a part of who they are. Those who set out to do all that they can to be a better life for us all and to be part of the plan. Those who renew our ideas and our dreams, that we can do better. Jack, you've done that for me. Dear Jack Layton, I give you this tune. I send it to you with my heartfelt gratitude. There are those like me who now and then lose our faith in anyone in power. What difference will my vote make? But Jack, I don't feel that way no more. You build a party I want to be at. Your team has my faith restored. You said, my friends, love is better than anger. Hope is better than fear. Optimism is better than despair. So let us be loving, hopeful and optimistic, and we will change the world. Today the heavens have a bright new shining star that will shine for us brightly. And Jack, I'm pretty sure you are looking on us. I know that you will be missed by the many you have touched, by the many lives you have blessed. Dear Jack Layton, I play for you this tune. I send it to you with heartfelt gratitude. Dear Jack, I send you this tune. I send it to you with my deepest heartfelt gratitude.
on folder so we can get up later.
Yeah, good evening, folks. My name is Sheila O'Leary. I'm councillor with the City of St. John's. I have to admit, I came down impromptu with my two sons this evening to share in the sadness, but also the inspiration that Jack Layton has inspired in our whole community. And then, of course, I have to put on my other hat and come on in here as a city representative, and I'm very pleased to do so. I unfortunately never got to meet Jack Layton personally myself. I had a couple of conversations with him on the phone, but really I don't think that that's all that relevant when you think about it, because when you look around the crowd that we have here in this community, there's very few of us who've actually had personal contact with him. I think that basically it's the spirit of the man that is going to live on. It certainly lives on in me, as somebody who only decided to get into politics about 2 years ago, never having imagined that I would ever decide to do something like this. It is people like Jack Layton who are so inspiring, who show people that there is hope, that there are options, and to never give up. And so I'm very pleased to stand here as a representative of the City of St. John's to give my love to Jack's family and his friends, and the support and prayers for their well-being, and to say thank you very much for coming out and showing your support, and live his inspiration. Don't be sad when you leave this place. Take it with you and turn it into some sort of a joy, and move it. Make it work in your lives. So I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to speak, and God bless.
Good evening. Welcome. I'm Lana Payne, President of the Newfoundland Labrador Federation of Labour. Sisters, brothers, friends. It's been a heart-wrenching and heartbreaking week. I think, though, that we've found not just comfort in each other, but in the tremendous outpouring of love and respect by Canadians for Jack. It has been nothing short of extraordinary. It has been said that once you choose hope, anything is possible. Jack Layton chose hope because he believed with his giant heart in the possible. And he fought for the possible. The possibility of an even better Canada. A Canada, in his words, of great equality, justice, and opportunity. A fairer, more equal country. And we can get there, he said, by working together. He used his considerable voice for the powerless and to further our shared vision of a world with social and economic justice at its core. Perhaps then it is fitting that in his last speech in the House of Commons, a speech delivered as leader of Canada's official opposition leader, a first for any New Democrat, he found himself once again defending the rights of workers. Until that moment, I don't think even I realized how incredibly important it was to have such a champion in such a place. Jack was a true friend of the labor movement, a champion of working people. In that last speech, he condemned the Harper government's attack on postal workers, indeed, an attack on all workers. He said this, I admire the workers for rising up against this injustice, even though it is not necessarily their rights and benefits that are in jeopardy, but those of future employees. The workers have stood up to protect the next generation. That is also a tradition of the NDP, one we are very proud of. He admired the labor movement, and we admired him. I would like to end by sharing with you the words of a great trade unionist who once said, "Brothers and sisters, take heart. There is, after all, joy in the struggle for a better world. There is joy in the struggle for justice." And Jack had that, such abundant joy. Joy in the struggle. In the days ahead, it will be left up to all of us who have been inspired by his leadership to carry on this legacy of hope and optimism. Hope that a better world is indeed possible, and to do as Jack did, find joy in the struggle. Because as Jack knew, when you choose hope, anything is possible. I choose hope.
Dear Jack, I wish you could see all these beautiful faces here today, in this city that you love so much. Hi everyone. You're putting a smile on my face where there hasn't been one for a few days, so thank you for being here. I'm Bruce Pierce, and some of you may know me as a community development worker with the St. John's Homelessness Committee. It's a calling, in fact, that Jack inspired me to pursue. I'd like to share some personal thoughts about him with you. I've had the honor of being Jack's friend since 1985 when I was a 23-year-old student in Toronto and he was a young city councillor. We immediately hit it off. Through the 1980s and 1990s, we worked closely together on a myriad of social, environmental, community, and political campaigns. It was an amazing experience to be his executive assistant on council before moving to St. John's in 1998 with my amazing partner, native Newfoundlander Sean Silver. It was tough to leave Jack then, but so lovely to come here with Sean. And in 2002, I jumped at the opportunity to help lead Jack's federal NDP leadership campaign effort here in our province, which was successful, as you gathered. Everyone he met here seemed to fall in love with him, and that feeling has only grown since then. While the work he did, or we did, was about serious matters, it was always pursued joyfully. My relationship with him has been truly life-changing, and his influence flows through me to this day. Jack was a teacher, a visionary, and a person who loved deeply. Let me briefly elaborate. Jack taught a university course at City Hall in the 1980s on how municipal government really works. I was his student, and it was a welcome reprieve from the textbook versions I'd received elsewhere. One day he asked us to sit in the council chambers and observe a meeting, and to look for power in the room, where it was, who had it, and how it was being used. It was an amazing lesson that prepared us not to be mere observers, but to be participants in civic life. After class, we would often retire to Foster's Pub behind City Hall for discussion and debate. With input from people across Toronto, Jack also developed a new vision for the city going into the 1988 municipal election. It's a remarkable paper, which I have with me here today because I just looked at it the other day. Many of the things proposed in it, which appeared far-reaching at the time, have since become reality, not only in Toronto, but nationally. He was a person who loved deeply, perhaps no one more deeply than his wife Olivia, whom he also married in 1988. Their wedding was one of the most beautiful I've ever seen. A few years ago, when he and I visited Signal Hill at sunset, struck by its beauty, he decided to call Olivia. Love, as he called her, never something euphemistic like darling or sweetheart. To him, she was love personified. And when she answered his cell phone call back in Toronto, he said, "Love, guess where I am? I thought it was only appropriate that I be calling you on my mobile phone from the place that received the first transatlantic wireless signal, waiting for the laughter. Yes, he was also lovably corny. Jack also cared deeply about others, to the very end. I last saw Jack at his home last November, where he quickly shifted his topic, our topic, from his health to the need for a national housing strategy. Again, during this spring's federal election campaign, he called to pledge action on affordable housing. As I told my colleagues in the housing movement yesterday, Jack truly understood the meaning of the Irish proverb which says, "It is in the shelter of each other that we live." It's striking that Jack's death has rekindled a nationwide understanding of our own innate gifts and potential to make positive change happen, each and every one of us. Although Jack's life was cut short, we still have the opportunity to get up every morning and make a difference in our communities. It is hard, almost impossible, to imagine a world without Jack Layton. But let's recommit ourselves to making it a world he would be proud of, because that is a world that will truly embrace justice, peace, and love for all. I love you and miss you, Jack.
We've chosen to sing a song today that urges us to think about people leaving in a different way. It's the beginning poetry says, "Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep."
I am Hi everybody. My name is Dale Kirby. I'm president of the Newfoundland Labrador New Democratic Party. I have the distinct honor here this evening to start the reading of Jack's last letter to us. Probably is one of the greatest political texts of our time. Before I get to that, I just wanted to say that our kind brothers and sisters from the Salvation Army have come down here with their mobile kitchens over here to the right, and they'll be offering free tea and coffee after these proceedings, and thanks to them for the generosity which we have become well accustomed to. Jack's last letter to us was written last Saturday, August 20th, in Toronto, and he says, "Dear friends, tens of thousands of Canadians have written to me in recent weeks to wish me well. I want to thank each and every one of you for your thoughtful, inspiring, and beautiful notes, cards, and gifts. Your spirit and love have lit up my home, my spirit, and my determination. Unfortunately, my treatment has not worked out as I had hoped. So I'm giving this letter to my partner Olivia to share with you in the circumstance in which I cannot continue. I recommend that Hull Elmer MP Nicole Turmel continue her work as our interim leader until a permanent successor is elected. I recommend that the party hold a leadership vote as early as possible in the new year on approximately the same timelines as in 2003, so that our new leader has ample time to reconsolidate our team, renew our party and our program, and move forward towards the next election."
A few additional thoughts. To other Canadians who are on journeys to defeat cancer and to live their lives, I say this. Please don't be discouraged that my own journey hasn't gone as well as I had hoped. You must not lose your own hope. Treatments and therapies have never been better in the face of this disease. You have every reason to be optimistic, determined, and focused on the future. My only other advice is to cherish every moment with those you love at every stage of your journey, as I have done this summer.
To the members of our party, we've done remarkable things in the past 8 years. It has been a privilege to lead the New Democratic Party, and I am most grateful for your confidence, your support, and the endless hours of volunteer commitment you have devoted to our cause. There will be those who will try to dissuade you to give up our cause. But that cause is much bigger than any one leader. Answer them by recommitting with energy and determination to your work. Remember our proud history of social justice, universal health care, public pensions, and making sure no one is left behind. Let's continue to move forward. Let's demonstrate that everything we do in the next 4 years before us, that we are ready to serve our beloved Canada as its next government.
To the members of the Parliamentary Caucus, I have been privileged to work with each and every one of you. Our caucus meetings were always the highlight of my week. It has been my role to ask a great deal from you, and now I am going to do so again. Canadians, will be watching closely in the months to come. Colleagues, I know you will make the tens of thousands of members of our party proud of you by demonstrating the same seamless teamwork and solidarity that has earned the confidence of millions of Canadians in the last election.
À mes concitoyens et concitoyennes québécois, le 2 mai dernier, vous avez pris une décision historique. Vous avez décidé qu'afin de remplacer le gouvernement fédéral conservateur du Canada par quelque chose de mieux, il fallait travailler ensemble, en collaboration avec les Canadiens progressistes de l'ensemble du pays. Vous avez pris la bonne décision à ce moment-là. C'est encore la bonne décision aujourd'hui et restera la bonne décision au cours des prochaines élections, lorsque nous réussirons ensemble. Vous avez élu une superbe équipe de députés du NPD qui vous représenteront au Parlement. Ils vont réaliser des choses remarquables dans les années à venir afin de faire du Canada un meilleur pays pour nous tous.
Young Canadians, all my life I have worked to make things better. Hope and optimism have defined my political career, and I continue to be hopeful and optimistic about Canada. Young people have been a great source of inspiration for me. I have met and talked with so many of you about your dreams, your frustrations, and your ideas for change. More and more, you are engaging in politics because you want to change things for the better. Many of you have placed your trust in our party. As my time in political life draws to a close, I want to share with you my belief in your power to change this country and change the world.
There are great challenges before you, from the overwhelming nature of climate change to the unfairness of an economy that excludes so many from our collective wealth, and the changes necessary to build a more inclusive and generous Canada. I believe in you. Your energy, your vision, your passion for justice are exactly what this country needs today. You need to be at the heart of our economy, our political life, and our plans for the present and the future.
Canada is a great country.